Hey folks, this is Best in Slot and welcome to the latest brand new free update for Prehistoric Kingdom. Update 12 has finally landed on Steam on PC today. New dinosaurs, new biomes, well, updated biomes, new building styles, new themes, new prefabs, lots of fantastic stuff. Let's get started. I've built a little park to hopefully showcase it all. It's decided to instantly be cloudy, but that's okay. So first thing to showcase, I suppose, is there is a brand new rustic theme inspired by US national parks with 60 new pieces, 2 new paths, 9 wall and roof styles, and also some new fences. And what you're seeing here is that new rustic style in action. These are the new official prefabs for the rustic style. So we've got, this is the restaurant over here on the right hand side. We've got gift shops and kiosks and all that kind of jazz. We've got a larger shop over here. Just good showcase of the rustic style. I'll show you all this again in just a moment, but a nice little showcase there. And this is the new rustic park entrance. Again, very similar to a US national park sort of shebang. Not sure how the humans get inside. I'm realizing. I think you go all the way around, so, but you can go inside. As you can see, it's got a little interior. This man is climbing a staircase. What a hero. Let's just ghost our way through the walls and let's check out some of the pieces. So, this is our first set over here. We've got a brand new set of walls and doors and windows, all rustic themed. We've got these new little fences as well. These aren't the dinosaur fences, of course. These are the guest fences. It's a huge sequence of beams and rods and logs and blogs and gogs and nogs and all the lovely things in the world, and also curved variants for all of them as well. All very much hewn out of natural all very much hewn out of natural wood, as you would expect for this kind of thing. And some of them have a little bit of the bark still on the tree there, very naturalistic if you want to go even more rustic. Over here, as you can see, more curved pieces, and we've got some new lights as well, some new light fittings. So that's the ceiling light. This is the new wall light. Over here, we've got some standing lamp posts, and my favourite new addition, just that, well, okay, we've got 2 new standing floor lamps here, but my favourite new addition is a lantern. I really needed a lantern, and now they've added a lantern to the game. Super good for atmosphere. You can obviously hang it on one of these, not even just for your redwoods, but you could have like a, you know, I always think of lanterns hanging on the wooden poles on like a misty marsh sort of environment. Very cool stuff for, say, a Spinosaurus habitat. But either way, these are the brand new building pieces. Over on this side, we've got these fantastic looking new carvings, 6 of them in total, beautifully modelled, spectacularly done. Whoever did these should be really genuinely proud of themselves because they are beautiful works of art, really. So we've got this Velociraptor here, and there's a space here which I don't know if that's a thing, but maybe you could put a sign in there or a little something. Maybe you could use this even as like a quasi-exhibit sort of sign for your raptor. Here we have our Hadrosaurid or some description, Hadrosaurus maybe, and holding that sign there. And then my favourite of the bunch, well, no, second favourite, we've got this gigantic Spinosaur here, our Spinosaurus, cuddling, like almost cuddling its fish, like it refuses to let it go. You can even see the feet down here squished into the fish's head, which, you know, some people are very much into. Over here to the left we have, I can't remember the name. I'm not even gonna pretend to be able to pronounce the name, but again, beautiful. This sort of twisted spiral carving on the wood is absolutely beautiful. That kind of splayed out feathering there, really cool stuff. We've got a bear, which is my favorite because the bear, I mean, how could it not be? The bear is fantastic. And then we've got our famous, you know, probably the most famous fossil of all time, next to like Stan, for example, is the fighting dinosaurs, our Protoceratops versus Velociraptor, locked in a death duel. But there's a couple other things as well. Over here we've got 2 new logs. We've got a half log and we've got a whole log. So, you know, if you want to hide in here and get attacked by a Stegosaurus, you could definitely do that. And of course your dinosaurs can navigate through these. Your smaller dinosaurs are able to walk through these logs, which is pretty cool. And you may have seen there, we also have 2 new rustic fonts. But that's not all, we got a little bit more. I've kind of should have got rid of the trees, but there are 6 new walls. So we've got 2 different variants of sort of hewn stone over here. We've got this kind of wooden paneling, 2 sort of wooden slat ones, and then a wooden log one over here on the side, as well as 3 new types of a roof. Wooden sort of stony sort of tile, and then these weird little feathery sort of shaped tile ones as well. So those are your new building options. So that is all the new building materials as part of the rustic theme. As I say, there's about 60 or so items in there in total. Now we can head into the park proper. There are a couple more things added as part of the theme. Ignore the bear. So I'm going to show you just something over here on the left hand side. The prefab system for this game has been updated. So if I get rid of this filter and we go for rustic instead, this is the souvenir kiosk. So if we find the same thing, it might have an entirely different shape, but this souvenir kiosk here should have like the same footprint. And yeah, as you can see, it does. So all the souvenir kiosks will take up, they might not have the same shape, as you can see, they're going to have different formations relevant to their theme, but they'll take up the same amount of room in your park. Their basal footprint is the same, which means you can sort of chop and change if you wanted to. You had your whole tropical section and you decide you want to change the shape up, you can just delete that, boop, and then you would bring in your new rustic souvenir and it would fit, and all the others would also fit into the exact spot that the tropical one was in. That's kind of the big change here, right? So we've got prefabs for every theme for these essential guest buildings, and they're all the same footprint, so we can chop and change as we want. That's all well and good, but let's look at some new dinosaurs. So we have 3 brand new species of dinosaur. You're actually looking at one of the new fences here as well. This is the new cabled fence. It seems like a really obvious thing to have. I can't believe it's only just been added now that I think about it. Those of you who saw my Prehistoric Kingdom streams will have seen me haphazardly try to build one of these myself. But it's a really cool, slightly Jurassic Park vibe, sort of cabled fence, and we have our new Ankylosaurus magniventris. So what I'm going to do before we head in click on them and check them out in game is we're going to nip over to the hatchery, the nursery I should say, and just see all the dinosaurs there, get a really good view of these 3 brand new species. So 2 of our brand new species are sauropodomorphs. The first one is the new Apatosaurus, so let's check that out. This is our main one, as it were. So we've got the drought skin, this lovely sort of burnt orange sort of thing. There's a little bit of male-female differentiation. You can see here the colour is a little bit more placid. And there is a very slight size change. If you just watch the little dude in the bottom right, you can see that they get a little bit bigger with the female, because the female's a little bit smaller. Of course, we'll see these in game in just a second, but it's a really nice way to just get a full feel for the model. That gigantic whip-like tail, beautifully modelled. The tail looks like the tail gets a little bit thicker there. And we've also got the monsoon skin, so same deal, same size and stuff like that, but this one is this kind of crackled lightning struck green with a little bit of brown coming in there. Very naturalistic. Again, both of these skins I think would work for any park, although you could theme them around different exhibits really easily. So our other one, so the Apatosaurus has 2, and then our alternate species, now separated, is the Brontosaurus. And the Apatosaurus is cool. The Brontosaurus is cooler. So this is a Brontosaurus excelsus with the Tempest skin. And again, as you can see, slightly bigger difference here. So I think the Brontosaurus is a little bit smaller, and then the female is more dramatically smaller, and again has some slightly faded coloration. But this thing is just so cool. I mean, the basal shape is very similar. It's a little bit more horizontal, it feels, than the Brontosaurus. The neck is a little bit thicker, and as you can see, we have these osteoderms moving down the side of the neck. It's kind of bulging out here at the sides, as it is wont to do. The raised vertebrae are more pronounced. You can see individual spikes here going along as well, as the tail breaks down into these lightning crackles and then pure black at the end. And as you can see, we've got a little bit there, a little spiky do thing at the end. That is the official name. But there is one more dinosaur to check out. So down in our thyroid, we have our Ankylosaurus, which of course has 3 skins. So Ankylosaurus magniventris, male and female. I believe the skins for male and female are identical, but the difference is the size. As you can see, again, the male is smaller. Actually, in this case, the male is the smaller of the 2. But yeah, again, another beautiful dinosaur. You can just see this intricate level of detail with the scaling there towards the back. Our large armor plates there, again, folded into part of the body, although you can see this kind of like slight ribbing sort of effect at the side as that armor is folded into the body of the dinosaur itself. That bizarre skull shape all jutting out, and then that kind of curved over nasal area there. So marsh ankylosaurus. We also have the peat ankylosaurus, which would go really well with that first apatosaurus. That is a really nice combination there. And then finally we've got Levy. Don't know why it's called Levy, but it's called Levy. This really cool sort of black and white skin there with some shades of brown mixing a milieu in there. And again, very crackly and varied and just really cool to look at. I'm not sure what my favourite of these are. I really like all three. I think it might be Levy, but I do tend to like the slightly louder skins. Got his little black booties on, or little brown booties. He's mixed up his booties. He's wearing odd socks, essentially. So, of course, we've also got this sort of redone biome for the coastal zone. I'm going to show you that in a little bit more detail in just a moment once we've seen the dinosaurs, but this is using a couple of the different brushes. I kind of stayed away from the redwoods to make sure the Yankees would have room to move around. They, of course, have ignored that and have glommed together over here in the corner, but we can just watch them for a second and appreciate them, how they move and how they're animated and how they sound. How the sound is awesome. Hello, buddy. So yeah, you can see what I mean there, the sort of the rubbing that's occurred on those bony plates. We got very close there. This is a beauty. She really is an absolute stunner. So they've got like a nice varied mix of sounds as well. You can see we've got those deep guttural growls, but every now and again they make a slightly, almost bird-like call, this ma 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 ma. You know what I mean? You know what I mean. You can hear it. You can always hear this kind of throaty, gurgly sort of noise in there, very suitable for how the dinosaur looks, really. And go check out our marsh one over here. The only one who's daring to emerge from the trees. No, and then that was a screw you best in slot movement right there. What a beaut though. Right, I'm gonna just move one of you manually because this is silly.
Ankylosaurs are built like tanks, and none of them more so than the mighty Ankylosaurus. Paleontologists have made a persuasive argument that ankylosaurs, like Ankylosaurus, use their tail clubs to fight each other, not just their predators. We'd better keep an eye on their paddock to make sure they don't pick any fights.
Thanks, Nigel. I've got to say, the bear, I've got to say, the UI, you can just see there the way it kind of clipped together, how it kind of zoomed in and zoomed out and sort of all very nicely sounded and all very nicely animated. The UI elements in this game have come together really, really well. It's probably an underrated part of the game. I think they've done a really good job of making what is quite a complex game in some ways quite intuitive, and it's getting better and better with things like the new tutorials and stuff like that. And it probably is it's an underrated design element, but it's not an easy thing to do, and they've done a really good job. So shout out to whoever the UX designer is for this game, because absolutely smashing it. I just saw Nigel come in there. It was really slick. I was really impressed. Right, that's enough time with our beauty. Look at that patterning. What a beaut. That little head shake, that little rumble. What a beaut she is. But if we zip down here, I'm going to show you some new fences before we check out our final dinosaurs. So this is the new wooden chain link fence. This is actually part of the basic set. Nope, this is the rustic log set. This is part of the rustic set. There we go. And we have another one here. This is a rustic stained metal fence. Really interesting. There's nothing sort of blocking this. This is just, you know, it's a hole. Boop, 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 boop. So our rusted stained metal. This is our new wooden chain link fence. This is now part of the basic set. Obviously, you've seen the cable one. And then, yeah, so that is your lot. And here we have our gigantic new sequoia forest, our new redwood forest. Let's hop inside and check out our brontosaurus and our apatosaurus. There she is in the distance, looking magnificent. So that's our apato. Really get a feel for those. It's hard to tell. You can't zoom in on the in the nursery. I think you should be able to. I don't know why I can't. But it's hard to appreciate just the level of Look at the colour there, the different varied colours, the browns and the ombres and the obrons and the blunglongs. You know, on our Apatosaurus, it's hard to appreciate all those colours when you can't see it properly. What a beauty she is. Really very cool. That little blush of orange there, just underneath the neck. Hello, lovely. I'm going to pause you for a second, actually. There we go. Look at her. What a stunner she is. What an absolute stunner. Eyes glistening, all the folds and the skin. You can see how the sort of the scaling kind of fades away here into the sort of leathery mouth as well, and all those intricately detailed individual teeth, herbivorous teeth there, and you can see they're even a little bit stained, as you would expect. So you need to up your hygiene. Oh god, sauropods always look ridiculous from the front. You need to up your hygiene, girl. But you're very pretty, so I'll let you off. Just love seeing that. You can see the, like, you know, the veins of musculature running through here and stuff like that. But let's go check out this beauty as well. So this is the Brontosaurus, the Tempest Brontosaurus. You see some slight differences there in the head shape, not too much. They're meant to be, you know, vaguely. Why are you moving? It's just bouncing slightly side to side. But you can see there's some slight head shape differences there. We've got these spikes, this curve of spike. Look at that. That is beautiful. This curve of spikes there that erupts along the entirety of the spine. These blushes of orange here above these sort of bone. Not really spikes, but sort of more nodules. These kind of like slightly pointed. Oh, man, that's like proper walking with dinosaur stuff right there. These kind of slightly pointed osteoderms that go up the neck there from the side. From the side. Got all that beautiful coloration. But I can't imagine how hard this was to do. What a I mean, come on. Come on. Stunner. Also, Big Bear. I just wanted to show you that you can scale up the statues if you so choose. And you do so choose because it's very cool. The bear. It's like a watcher. You know, it's like, what is he called? Not Forrest Gump. The guy with the blue cow. I'm not American, I don't remember, but the bear does the same thing. He's looking out for people. So that is our Brontosaurus. Here we go. There's our other Apato. Hello, Kuruk.
The name Apatosaurus means deceptive lizard, and I can't think of a more fitting moniker for a dinosaur with such a complicated history. For the longest time, nobody knew what the head of Apatosaurus looked like. Paleontologists debated over whether it should look more like a Diplodocus or a Camarasaurus, until its real skull was confirmed in 1978. Now that's turning heads.
Nigel Marvin pronounces every dinosaur differently than I would. Ankylosaurus, Ankylosaurus, Diplodocus, Diplodocus, and what was the other one? Oh, Camarasaurus and Camarasaurus. I don't know. I'm a Camara guy. You see the little wibble here, even the little wibble in the musculature of the leg as it moves. This gigantic, slow-moving creature. And look how they sit. Oh, he looks so happy. Oh, this one might be. I love that Bronto, but this Apato just. Oh, I'm inside you. It's kind of cool actually. This again, you can see the wibbling. Yeah, gorgeous new dinosaurs to say the least. I don't want to spend too long looking at them because it would be a very easy thing to do. I've shown you basically everything. There's a couple other new things that I'd like to show you, including the biome brushes for this biome. This biome, of course, isn't new, but this map is. So here we are. We're in the coastal biome of California. And as you can see, it's on a hill. So this kind of like slopes downwards here. As you can hopefully tell. I mean, that's got Jurassic Park written all over it, doesn't it? That's got a Brachiosaurus theme written all over it. But the really cool thing I like about this map, so we can come over here, we've got this kind of like rocky outcrop sort of section, which looks really cool. But then we come down here, and there's an entire blim-blamming. And first of all, it's huge. I mean, look, my park is over there. You can't see it. You literally can't. Well, I mean, it's hidden by icons, but that's neither here nor there. But we've got this lovely coastline. There's all these little islands in there. You can see it stretches out, and it does stretch out all the way into the deep ocean. There's no land out there whatsoever. And I love seeing things like this. It really does feel like a much more naturalistic environment. If we go into vegetation, we've got 4 different presets. So let's just lower that a little bit. This is our probably the most popular one, the coastal vegetation. This is the redwoods. It's got 17 different plants in it. These bushes again make me so happy. But there you go. In 4 seconds, I've built a stunning looking coastal redwood sequoia park kind of thing. We've also got coastal pines, if you're that way inclined. Maybe good to, you know, actually get closer to the water, make them a little bit skinnier. We have a coastal fern forest. So if you want some brush that your dinosaurs can more actively walk through, this is what we had for the Ankylosauruses, felt very appropriate. And then finally, you've got a coastal prairie. So you can see how there's kind of like 4 levels of height. They get taller and taller and taller until you're just in this. You know what I'm like with redwoods. Anyone who's watched me long enough will know my love for redwoods. I just think this looks fantastic. Just before I show you one other thing, we've got these lovely new rhododendrons. These are part of the new coastal biome, as you can see. So these have been added fresh and new, along with the new sequoias that we've already seen. So our brand new sequoias, as you can see. Big, chunky sequoias. They've added a new fern to the tropical foliage as well. There we go. So this is the new king fern. This was also added in the latest patch. Big, wide, spread out ferns. Again, feels very appropriate for Jurassic Park and stuff like that. Really cool stuff for tropical. Gonna fill out your parks really nicely. There's a couple other changes. Very quickly going to show you this. If we go in here and we go to our staff, you can see now that staff have a salary of different amounts and also a skill level. You can actually train your staff up. They'll also then demand higher salary. You can set salary sort of rates and stuff like that. Say, you know, I pay my laborers either this amount up to this amount, no higher, and then you kind of get some problems if people want a little bit more. But, you know, staff management, staff training and staff salaries have been added to the challenge version of the game if you're that way inclined. I am not, but for those of you who are, it's an extra little layer of management depth to that mode. I realized there were 2 things I missed out of the video, so I'm just going to throw those in there. The first is the new rustic paths. We've got 2 different ones. We've got a rustic natural path, which is called the cut log path, as you can see. So these lovely loggy bits, cut logs, as you would expect from something called cut log path. And then we've also got the split stone path, which is actually pretty phenomenal as well. Really nice texture there. Really, yeah, both fantastic, both very different from each other, and both rounding out the number of paths we have in the game, which is slowly becoming pretty good actually. It's quite a wide amount of variety right there. Ooh. Go. Right, and the other thing I need to do is go click on the Brontosaurus, because we never heard Nigel's dulcet tones talk about the Brontosaurus, called Fret.
That sound you're hearing isn't thunder. It's the earth-shaking stomp of a Brontosaurus. These dinosaurs have been shaking the big screen for over 100 years, starting with one of the first ever animated films, Gertie the Dinosaur. Gertie was never the best behaved dinosaur, so hopefully we won't have as much trouble trying to keep this Brontosaurus in line.
Of course, there are other voice lines and stuff that I'll activate. I think it's drinking. I think there's a little bug there, but I'm sure that'll get sorted out. Lickety split. So we also have a brand new tutorial system. Now you can access this by pressing F1, or you can just click the little help icon here on the left hand side. Now you've got these sort of guides in game, you can kind of read these, and this just gives you some written detail. But there are some brand new playable tutorials as well. So here you can learn the basic controls, basic building, basic stuff, creating animals, and preparing the park. So you just follow through all 5 of these and it'll give you a hands-on way of learning the game. So for example, if we do basic controls, you can see here we're going to learn how to use the camera and pause time and all that kind of jazz. We can click start tutorial, and as you can see, we can kind of start to learn, use the mouse wheel to zoom in and out there. Look at that, like a proper video game and everything. We can orbit, we can pan, didn't know you could do that. I'm learning things. We can use the keyboard. This is actually very well done, very high quality. Although I feel those are back to front. Hold shift while moving to speed up or control. I didn't know that either. Anyways, the point is, there's these fantastic, helpful tutorials if you've been struggling to learn the game, or maybe you're thinking about picking up the game for the first time. Highly recommend you check these out. I can sit here just watching these for ages. Yeah, I really want to. I've got. Oh, I can't talk about that yet. But yeah, they're just. They're magnificent, is the word. They really are. Anyways, we'll end it there. Thank you so much for joining me. This was the brand new Update 12 for Prehistoric. Update 12 for Prehistoric Kingdom. Absolutely free for those of you who own the game already. If you don't, pick it up on Steam. Highly recommend you do. The game is just getting better and better with every update. It is one of the best, and I don't just mean for dinosaur games. It is one of the best maintained and updated and looked after and loved early access games out there, point blank. It really is. So that's it from me. Thank you so much for joining me. Cheers much as always. Oh, from me, like, you know the drill. Bye-bye.
Road.